So I received a comment on one of my videos about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I do apologize. Like I've said before, it does take me a little bit of time to get to these. I'm going to get to them all, so don't worry about that. But what I want to do here is read through this comment and give my feedback, answer some of the questions, because while some of the things I think in this specific comment, and he even says, I think I've already touched on in previous videos, I really want to make clear a few points. I think that there are a few things that I want to share and comment specifically about this situation. And overall, I think that this is probably a fairly common situation for a lot of raiders these days. So the comment was left by a guy, assuming it's a guy, hopefully, I'm correct, but a person by the name of, I don't know, I'm old, so, the PC stuff, I'm sorry, by a guy named Skull Freak. And he said, hey, I'm not sure where to ask a question or if you've already answered something similar to this, but I recently was appointed the raid leader, as my former raid lead is also the guild master, and it was getting to be a bit much. So guild leader was also the raid leader. He said, hey, I need some help. You lead the raid. Cool. We're a small casual guild, mostly dealing with heroic stuff, but me and a few of the other players do mythic content. Some people in the guild, I think, are holding us back, but our old raid leader, now the guild master, was against kicking people or telling them they need to improve to come to raid. I want them to come, and I would prefer that they simply improve, but I'm not sure that they will, as long as it's not item level related and more how they play the class. I would go talk to them myself and try to help them improve, but as an officer mentioned to me, they, the raiders, might get upset and offended when I talk about it, and my guild leader might get mad about me doing it. I just want us to be able to clear heroic easy and maybe work on mythic a little. To put numbers out, it's like 6 to 800k DPS. He says 800k as low as 600. Any advice or direction to videos you may have about similar issues, or a person may be helpful. I just started watching, but your videos helped me raid lead already. Okay, so first of all, I will say to you, Freak, and to anybody who does this or is thinking about doing it, one, don't hesitate to hit me up. Comments, emails, wherever you want to throw them, I will get to them. I promise I will do that. Second of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Dude, it means the world to me. Like I know you guys hear that and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, it's full of shit. No, seriously, man, it's these comments, man, they're really what keep me going. So reading through your comment here, I'm not quite sure what you mean when you say mythic content. If you mean mythic content that you're pugging, like mythic raiding, cool. If you mean mythic plus, and you're just getting together 5 men, even still, totally cool. But I think the overall sentiment here is very clear. You have a section of your guild, whatever percentage that may be, that want to do more. They want to push progression. They want to do harder stuff. They want more. You obviously have a section that don't, that either aren't of the mindset that they want to do more, aren't looking to improve, whatever. I do agree when you say that these people are holding you back. They're holding the raid back. They're holding the guild back. They are holding you back. And there's no doubt about that. If you are doing end game content in heroic difficulty, like you said you were, and you as a raider are only pushing 6 to 800k on a boss, mind you, if you're doing something, there's specific situations where, 600, 800k would be acceptable, but few and far between. You are holding people back. You are not helping if that is your numbers. Now, you are at the point here where these people not doing that DPS, not pushing those numbers, those people that are actively holding back the raid, they are a huge hindrance to the group as a whole. And I think that if you haven't gotten to it already in the past week and a half, there's eventually going to be, and it may not be this expansion, it may be BFA if this trend continues, hypothetically, if these guys continue to rate and they're still doing piss poor, there will be that moment of critical mass. That's what we're trying to avoid. That's what I think you're trying to avoid, is that moment where, half the raid says, fuck you guys, I'm out. Because you can't do DPS, I'm carrying, I'm tired of carrying, I'm tired of wiping, etc., etc., etc. Now, you are saying that your former raid leader is now your guild leader and that you've taken over his mantle as raid leader. I'm not sure about the experience level that your new guild leader has, but it sounds like he's pretty new to the job. It sounds like he's pretty new to guild leading in general. There's a few reasons for that. The reason why I bring this up is that you mentioned that this guild leader, this new guild leader, he may become upset at you actively trying to help your raiders. If that's the case, then this guy needs a wake-up call. Like, straight up, if your guild leader, if he or she is saying, I'm going to get pissed off, or you fear as an officer, as a leader of the guild, that your boss is going to get pissed off at you helping people, holy crap, man. If he is against kicking people, I get it. That's a mindset I can get behind. If you say, we are going to kill the bosses and I'm not going to kick anybody, that's a mindset that I can get behind. I can support it. The problem, though, is that he also isn't concerned about people improving. So hypothetically, I don't know where you're at content-wise. You said heroic. Let's say that you hit that wall of, the last bit of Antorus, right? So let's say like Varimathras, Coven, Agrimar, Argus, where it's a toss-up whether you're going to kill him for the week or not. If you aren't going to improve, and your raid leader, or your guild leader rather, is supporting that, these people that are holding you back, you're going to hit that wall every week, and you're not going to progress. And that is a problem. Now, you can't have it both ways, right? If this is the case, if there's an environment where your guild leader is encouraging mediocrity, and I don't even know if that's the right word, but mediocrity at best, then he is only helping the guild, he's only helping the raid form and hit that wall that they won't be able to move past, or that they will struggle to move past, or you will hope and pray that, that you do more DPS to help out all the guys that are doing that 600 to 800k DPS. And that's so many repercussions from that. You guys are going to get pissed off for carrying everybody. Like I mentioned, they're not looking to improve. So even if they stick around or they move to a different guild, they're simply not going to improve and to have that experience that really, like, I can't tell you how amazing of an experience it is to sit down either on the giving or receiving end of help. And I've been on both ends as a raider, and somebody go, hey, look, here's the things that you're missing. Or me go, going through the logs and go, hey, look, here are the things that you're not doing. And then the ultimate, the outcome is there's improvement, significant improvement. And you're like, holy crap, like, I'm doing way better now. When I first started playing my Shadow Priest, I needed help. I didn't understand, haste breakpoint. It was just something I had never played before. And one of my officers sat down with me and he said, hey, look, here's what you got to do. Here's the things that I keep track of. Here's what I would do. And after I started doing it, I was, whoa, Shadow Priest is really fun. It really kicked for me. It really sunk in how cool it was. And your guild leader is really robbing people of this experience. So, like I said, I have mentioned a couple of these things before, but I really want to kind of harp on it, right? Because I think that these things are important. I've mentioned this before, and I will continue to mention it. But I think it's so important to continue to say, you and your guild leader, any of your officers that are also with you, you guys have to have a sit down. The whole leadership team needs to have a sit down. First of all, you guys should have already done that. When you were promoted to raid leader, when your raid leader was promoted to guild leader, I don't know what happened. Maybe a guild leader left and he said, hey, Steve, you're in charge. And Steve said, whoa, that's too much. I need, Skull Freak to help me out, right? You guys should have sat down. If you haven't done so, you got to do it. You need to talk about the guild that you're trying to run. What's the culture supposed to be? What are the expectations? What are the expectations? What are you trying to foster? What is the direction that you guys are intending to push this guild? I think it's ridiculous. I think it's so fucking ridiculous for any leader. And I don't care if you're a raid leader. I don't care if you're a guild leader. I don't care if you've been doing the job for 1 day or 20 years. For any leader in any organization to tell those that report to him, don't help them. Or for you as an officer to be fearful or concerned or mindful that your boss, the guild leader, is going to get mad at you, upset at you. What kind of environment is that saying and setting? No. You guys as a whole need to come to a consensus about what you want. If you as a raider, not a raid leader, not any type of leader, officer, anything like that, but you as a person, as a guild member, as a raider, feel that the direction that the leadership core as a whole want to push the guild, if you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, then again, you as a raider, not as a guild member, not as as a raid leader or any type of leader, you need to decide if this is the ship that you want to continue to sail on. Ultimately, what I'm saying is, if they say, we're not going to help people, we'll take anybody, we're cool with wiping 100 times, but I'm not going to tell people that they need to improve or assist them, then you as a person need to go, peace out. I'm finding a guild that's actually going to push. Okay? And if that's heroic content, if that's mythic content, if that's, whatever, you need to make that decision. Okay? Now, once you guys have sat down, and I would suggest that you sit down, preferably at the end of the guild of the raid week, right? I don't know what your schedule is, but either at the end, or you could really do at the beginning, like today, since it's, the reset day for North America. You could chat with your officer team, your leadership core. You need to sit down with the entire guild. After everything is really hashed out, you got to sit down with them, right? And you need to let everyone that intends to raid know the direction that you're going and what your expectations as the raid leader are. Okay? You need to let them know that, hey, look, I will help you. I'll go your rotation. We'll do some research. We'll go through logs, etc., etc., etc. If you're underperforming, this is a thing that's going to happen. I also think it's kind of ridiculous if you as a leader are concerned, or there has been talk or a mindset that the raiders are going to get upset or mad if you try to help them. Like, all around, it seems like there are people that aren't looking to push. And that's not good. Like, there's no hunger, there's no want for more or better or to improve, and that's a really shitty place to be as a guild, as a raid, as a raider in general. Like, to go, I'm okay with mediocrity, but that's off on a tangent. You got to let people know the expectations, and that is a huge thing for any leader to do, is to let people know, here's my expectations of what I want. And you have to be okay with getting to a state where you can bring those that want to improve up. If you know that people are willing to learn and do extra stuff and to really try, but you also need to trim that fat. If people aren't willing to keep up, you got to do something about it. If that is the mindset and culture that you are going to push. Simple as that. And I would say one last thing here. You should expect full support from your guild leader. Whatever you guys hash out, you have to hold your guild leader to it. Okay? There are times where we, as my officers and I, have sat down and I've said, look, here's what we're going to do. And then something happens, a month later, and I'm like, I'll give this guy a pass. We say, hey, you need X amount of traits in your weapon, and this guy is missing 3. I go, we'll bring him along. And one of my officers will go, hey man, it's really not fair to the rest of the guys that already did this. He can come next week. He can do some world quests. He can come next week. And I go, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And I think that's a fair enough statement. We are pushing content, etc. Let's do that. You need to feel supported by your guild leader. And he, of course, needs to feel supported by you. Now, with all that being said, hopefully I answered your questions. What I'd like from you, or really anybody else, a couple of things here. One, if, like I said in the beginning, if you have comments, questions, situations that you want me to yap for 15 and a half minutes on, comment section below. My email is in the about section. Let me know. Don't hesitate, man, to shoot me a message. I love doing this. I want to know here, after you sat down with your guild leader, after you sat down with your raid leader, give me a progress update. I really want to know. I really like that stuff. And for the rest of you guys, and for you, Skull Freak, until next time, guys, I'll see you.